Hi LEGO fans! The summer 2021 LEGO Harry Potter sets have just been released and I just got quite the mail call. A massive stack of 11 sets just came out on the 1st of June, including 76386, Hogwarts Polyjuice Potion Mistake, 76387, Hogwarts Fluffy Encounter, 76388, Hogsmeade Village Visit, 76389, Hogwarts Chamber of Secrets, 76390 comes later and will be the 2021 LEGO Harry Potter Advent Calendar. 76391 has yet to be announced. Then we have 76392 Hogwarts Wizard Chess, 76393 the large buildable Harry Potter and Hermione Granger figures, 76394 Fawkes Dumbledore's Phoenix, and then we have some brickheads including 40495 Harry, Hermione, Ron and Hagrid, and 40496 Voldemort, Nagini and Bellatrix. Oh, and I almost forgot, there's a 40500 Wizarding World minifigure accessory set which includes some exclusive minifigures. I'm starting out with one of my favourites, and unlike Harry Potter, I do have a signed permission slip. So today, I'm going to be unboxing, speed building, and reviewing set number 76388 Hogsmeade Village Visit from LEGO Harry Potter! Sitting in the middle of the range, this set retails for €80, $80 or 70 of your hard-earned Great British quid. This 851-piece set recreates two iconic buildings from the village of Hogsmeade. We've got Honeydukes sweet shop containing shelves upon shelves of the most succulent looking sweets imaginable, and the Three Broomsticks, one of two pubs in Hogsmeade which is popular with students and teachers alike. As well as the two buildings, the 851-piece part count includes a generous 7 minifigures. We've got a 20th anniversary gold Ron Weasley, Mr. and Mrs. Flume, the owners of Honeydukes, the ever popular Madam Rosmerta, Professor Minerva McGonagall, Dean Thomas, and of course Harry Potter. We'll be taking a close-up look at each of the minifigures and comparing them to their on-screen counterparts later in the video. The packaging style remains the same in this attractive blue colour, with the Wizarding World logo in the top right, and a badge calling out the 20th anniversary of LEGO Harry Potter. I can't believe that 20 years have passed since the first sets were released in 2001. Over on the back of the box we get a closer look inside the two buildings. Here we can see Harry enjoying a glass of butterbeer in the Three Broomsticks with Dean Thomas, and McGonagall gossiping with Rosmerta in the upstairs room. Honeydukes is stocked from floor to ceiling with every conceivable type of sweet, but it looks like they've started storing their stock in the attic instead of the basement. The Three Broomsticks has a nice amount of detail, including those shrunken heads on the door, and then we have the private room where Harry learned that Sirius Black is his godfather. This set is of course based on Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. As such, we have a wanted sign for the notorious mass murderer Sirius Black. In this 20th anniversary wave, we have 6 gold minifigures to collect, but that is not all. Oh no, that is not all. There are also a bunch of collectible wizard cards replicating the cards you get inside a chocolate frog. Speaking of getting inside the box, I think it's time we tore this one open. Here's everything you get inside the box. We've got 6 numbered bags of LEGO with 1 through 3 building Honeydukes Sweet Shop and 4 through 6 building the Three Broomsticks. There are also 2 instruction booklets, one for each build so you can share this set with a friend. And finally we have 2 sticker sheets because everybody loves putting stickers on LEGO sets. I'm going to go ahead and build set number 76388, Hogsmeade Village Visit, and today this is going to be a 90-second speed build. And here is the completed 76388 Hogsmeade Village Visit from LEGO Harry Potter. Build time was just under 2 hours, and with the exception of the stickering, was good fun to put together. We're going to start out by taking a salivating stroll around Honeydukes' sweet shop. We'll also check out this version of Honeydukes alongside the old version from the Shrieking Shack set. After checking out some of the street furniture from the village of Hogsmeade, we'll check out the Three Broomsticks and see if they're letting in underage wizards today. I'm definitely looking forward to a butterbeer and finding out what McGonagall and Rosmerta are gossiping about. After exploring the village of Hogsmeade, we have 7 magically magnificent minifigures to take a look at. We'll be looking at each one of these in detail and comparing them to their on-screen counterparts. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get on with it! So this delightful building located on the high street of Hogsmeade is home to Honeydukes, a wizarding sweet shop established in 1641. It's owned by Ambrosius Flume and his wife, but we'll come back to those guys later. We first encounter Honeydukes in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban when Hogsmeade is covered in snow. As such, you'll notice the roof is covered in a thick layer of white stuff. LEGO has used a variety of elements on the roof to create a really nice snowfall effect. The style of building in Hogsmeade is tall and skinny, and these chimney stacks definitely help to make that aesthetic. The roof has quite an extreme pitch, which explains why all the snow is falling down. Protruding from the roof and letting in some light, we have a neat little window. The detail on the window pane is unfortunately a sticker, but I really do like the cone-shaped roof piece with the scalloped tiles. Moving down to street level, there's a neat Victorian shopfront complete with bay windows. Much of the decoration, including the square window panes, is also stickered detail, which is really fiddly to apply. The practical details made of LEGO elements, however, are really nicely done. Check out those icicles hanging from the roof. Above the front door is the shop's name, but I'm not very happy with the quality of stickers used here. The colours are wishy-washy and seem to be a lilac colour. Referring back to the box, these should have been a vibrant pink, which looks much better. Stickered signs also appear above the bay windows, but again we lose the vibrancy of the colours. It's all a little bit disappointing. What I do like about the window is that we have a display of the most succulent looking sweets imaginable. On the other side we have what looks like a chocolate fountain, but I'll come back to that in just a moment. The attention to detail in this build is very good. Even around the sides I like the textured bricks and the sand green details. The stickering I like less so. We only get a fleeting glance at the Honeydukes exterior in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Thankfully there is good reference material at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Based on the theme park version, I'd say LEGO did a bang up job here. While it may look great on the outside, customers are usually more interested in the sweet treats which lie within. The interior of Honeydukes may be small, but it captures a lot of detail from the movie. Remember the glass case with the skeleton tipping its hat? We got one of those! Whatever's going on inside this display case, we got one of those too! We also have the same black and white floor with studs so you can pose minifigures and other furniture. Peering into the back of the shop we have shelves full of containers containing who knows what. Cockroach clusters, crystallised pineapple, fizzing whizbees, you name it. On this shelf we find popcorn and a custom printed container for acid pops. Acid pops, as Ron found out to his peril, are actually strong enough to burn a hole in your tongue. In the window is where we see Neville, Dean and Seamus dipping sweet treats in the chocolate fountain. You may remember Harry in his invisibility cloak stealing a lollipop from Neville. On display in the other window is a large balloon-shaped object. This may be promoting Drupal's best blowing gum, which fills a room with bluebell coloured bubbles that refuse to pop for days. There are also some printed cookies and whatever those berry elements are. Once you've decided what to buy, you can check out this old-fashioned till with weighing scales. It's a shame we have a sticker here, but I think the detail is pretty much on point. For such a small space, LEGO has packed an impressive amount of detail in here. One detail that they weren't able to include is the trapdoor. You'll recall that this set is called Hogsmeade Village Visit. That's because students in their 3rd year and above can visit Hogsmeade at the weekend, providing they have their permission slip signed. That became a bit of a problem for Harry after the whole blowing up Aunt Marge incident. As McGonagall wasn't going to make an exception, Fred and George took pity on Harry and handed in the Marauder's map. That included the location of a bunch of hidden passages heading out of Hogwarts. One of them emerged in the basement of Honeydukes. LEGO did incorporate this into the version of Honeydukes that came with the Shrieking Shack set. As there's no basement in this set, where do they store their merchandise? To find out, we have to move up to the next floor. On the upper level we find a box of Honeydukes merchandise ready to go on display. The upper level is sparsely decorated, but I suspect this would be the flat where Mr. and Mrs. Flume live. Tucked away in the corner is somewhere to cook and a fireplace. On the other side, another fireplace and a bucket for some reason. As there's no bathroom, I'll let you make up your own mind here. Apart from those minor details, the space is pretty empty. Right at the top of the roof space we do have some decorative objects which may be jars of sweets, but I really don't know. Outside of Honeydukes we have some street furniture to create the Christmas card scene that is Hogsmeade in winter. It's unlikely you'll want to linger outside in weather as cold as this, but if you do, there's a bench complete with snowdrift. I love the colour choice here, especially with the more unusual dark brown elements. Providing illumination, we have a tall, thin and elegant Victorian street lamp. Like everything else in Hogsmeade, it comes with an accumulation of snow, but leaving us with no doubt that this set is based on Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. On this outdoor notice board is posted a wanted poster for Sirius Black. It shows his maniacal face and prison number written partially in runes. So far so good, but with all this talking, I could really use a drink. Anyone fancy a butterbeer, or maybe a dragon scale or a fire whiskey? This is the Three Broomsticks, a popular inn and pub which has been around since medieval times. In fact, it's rumoured this was the human headquarters for the 1612 Goblin Rebellion. The proprietor at the time of filming is Madam Rosmerta. We'll be getting up close and personal with her in a few minutes. This building is slightly taller than Honeydukes, standing 9 inches or 23 centimetres tall. The building style is tall and skinny with multiple pitched roofs covered in snow. There are also chimneys on either side of the building for the warm and comforting fires that lie within. Right at the top, creating a room in the attic, we've got a pitched roof complete with window. I really like the decorative detail included in the roofline. Using an upside down shield to hide the gap at the top was genius. Moving down the building, we have several windows letting light into the private room upstairs. I love the way these have been built to protrude from the roof. On the other side we have a double height window, and the large window in the middle comes complete with golden shutters. At ground level we find the entrance to the pub which is inviting us inside. We actually get a fairly decent look at this in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Hung above the entrance we have some pearl gold antlers and the Three Broomsticks sign. It's a shame LEGO didn't try and create this out of paintbrush elements. On either side of the door we have more of those windows complete with golden shutters, and you'll notice the Three Broomsticks is surrounded by snow which gives it a really festive look. The building also incorporates a number of textured bricks, and there's also a small amount of stickered detail on the side providing some more texture. I love the old-fashioned arch door which almost gives it the appearance of a church door. On one side is a lantern providing illumination, and on the other an unusual round sign. This is not easy to read, but I'll give it a go. The Three Broomsticks is proud to present a most festive meal known to any wizard or witch, the Christmas meal using all feast season. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I guess Christmas dinner may be on offer. Right in front of the door we have a couple of studs, which is a great place to post some minifigures. And then finally, it's time to venture inside. Assuming everybody made it inside, welcome to the Three Broomsticks, not to be confused with the Hog's Head. That's my favourite place to hang out when I visit Hogsmeade. Guarding the entrance we have 3 shrunken heads. This is sadly a stickered part, but a very nice reference to the movie.
I say, no underage wizards allowed in today. Shut the damn door.
So rude. Thickheads.
How dare they? Who are they calling thickheads, young whippersnappers?
Above the door we find another set of pearl gold antlers. Winding the clock forward to Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, we see a lot more of the Three Broomsticks interior. Rumour has it that Warner Brothers copied the movie set interior from the Three Broomsticks restaurant at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Also inside the pub we have this stickered portrait of a rather jolly looking wizard. The seating arrangements are basic but functional. There's a blue platter complete with a croissant, and that is how it's pronounced, and some wizarding beverages. I definitely recognise the butterbeer, and maybe the goblet contains some mulled mead or red currant rum. A large stickered panel confirms butterbeer is served here, and there's some portraits of broomsticks. We even have some very traditional looking panelling. On the bar we find another butterbeer waiting to be served and a green bottle, maybe containing fire whiskey. Standing at the bar waiting to get served is one of the favourite pastimes for people who live in Great Britain. On the shelf we see pewter tankards, goblets, and bottles of pumpkin juice. Given the very limited amount of space, I do like what LEGO has done with the interior. It's just a shame that we didn't get a larger scale version like the Diagon Alley set. Moving upstairs we have the private room where a certain conversation was overheard. Whilst Ron and Hermione were getting kicked out by the shrunken heads, Harry sneaked inside the pub under his invisibility cloak.
Invisibility cloak is not included, terms and conditions apply.
Harry was able to eavesdrop on a conversation between Cornelius Fudge, Madam Rosmerta, and Minerva McGonagall. It's here where Harry learns that notorious mass murderer Sirius Black is his godfather. Fudge's forgiveness of Harry's underage performance of magic in the presence of a muggle now reveals a more sinister motive for his leniency. The upstairs room is cosy and nicely decorated. Providing some welcoming heat on a snowy day is an open fire complete with trans-orange flames. There's also an overstuffed armchair which seems to be upholstered in the same material as the couch that Professor McGonagall sat on. There's some art on the wall behind which seems to resemble the Three Broomsticks Pub sign. Being a muggle, I can't quite work out what the runes mean. Providing somewhere to sit and warm up in front of the fire, we have this small stool, and on the mantel high above the fire we have some festive decoration confirming it's almost Christmas. On the far side of the room we have a dresser complete with candle. There's also some art which is quite difficult to make out. I'm pretty sure this shows a starlit scene with Hogwarts silhouetted by the moon. There is some attic space at the top of the building, but there really is nothing of interest to see here. Detailed features may be a little thin on the ground here, but what we do have is very good and very faithful to the story. Is this everything I hoped for from a LEGO recreation of the Three Broomsticks? Probably not. But given the relatively low price point and part count of the set, I think LEGO have done really well here. While this may be the first time that we've seen an official LEGO build of the Three Broomsticks, it's not the first outing for Honeydukes. It first appeared in set number 4756, Shrieking Shack from 2004. The two LEGO recreations of Honeydukes are very different indeed. This version of Mr. and Mrs. Flume's shop was created 17 years earlier. It lacks the Victorian style bay windows but does have some really nice printed elements. This is a sticker-free zone. The selection of merchandise inside is a little less impressive. There are a couple of lollipops and some brightly coloured containers, and I like the half-eaten printed chocolate bar which also came with the Hogwarts Express. The printed cash register is much better than the sticker we got with the 2021 set, but LEGO was clearly struggling to find confectionery related items to put inside the shop. These apples do not look like the most succulent looking sweets imaginable. As an accurate recreation of Honeydukes' sweet shop, this definitely gets a T for troll. So we have an epic recreation of two of the most iconic buildings from the village of Hogsmeade. But that is not all. Oh no, that is not all. We also have 7 magically magnificent minifigures to take a look at. Harry James Potter, who seems to be wearing the wrong costume, Dean Thomas, Professor Minerva McGonagall, Landlady of the Three Broomsticks, Madam Rosmerta, Honeydukes proprietor Mr. Ambrosius Flume, his wife and co-proprietor Mrs. Flume, and a 20th anniversary Ronald Bilious Weasley. First in line we've got the boy what gone done lived, Harry James Potter. As you can see, he's wearing the same costume he wore on his outing to Hogsmeade, or not as the case may be. Harry comes complete with a wand, 11 inches long, made of holly and possessing a phoenix feather core. Instead of creating a new Harry Potter for this set, LEGO just threw on a different coloured pair of legs and called it good. A very similar minifigure appeared in the other Prisoner of Azkaban sets which were released in 2019. 75945 Expecto Patronum, 75947 Hagrid's Hut Buckbeak's Rescue, and 75957 The Night Bus. The torso print, which includes some nice metallic detail, shows Harry wearing a blue t-shirt and a blue zippered top. This is what Harry was wearing during the time-travelling escapades towards the end of the Prisoner of Azkaban. On the back of the torso, there's a small amount of printing showing the creases in the back of the jacket. The facial expression, recycled from earlier minifigures, shows a pretty content looking Harry. The alternate expression shows Harry looking rather more consternated. There's no change to the hair mould, but to be honest, it looks absolutely perfect the way it is. I love the way LEGO left a gap in the hair so you could see the lightning shaped scar. LEGO really did miss an opportunity to include a brand new torso print here. When we compare the minifigure to the scene in the movie on which this set is based, it's clearly the wrong costume. This is what Harry was wearing much later in the movie. Because Harry has different coloured legs to the 2019 version, he is technically a new minifigure, but we all know that's not really true. Next we have Half-Blood Dean Thomas, who is quite an underrepresented character in minifigure form. The only other example came with the Harry Potter collectible minifigures in 2018. We don't know much about the composition of Dean's wand, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't this colour. Dean has the same medium black posable legs we saw on the Harry Potter minifigure. I really do like the torso print, which shows a very colourful puffer jacket, but I haven't been able to find this in the movie. Dean does make a brief appearance in Honeydukes but isn't wearing this outfit. The printing is super crisp with some really nice metallic detail for the zipper. Around the back, more crisp printing showing the texture of the jacket. The facial printing is really crisp and shows Dean wearing a mile-wide smile. The alternate expression loses a smile but shows the confident Dean Thomas that Ginny fell for before turning her attention to Harry. Costume discrepancies aside, it is nice to get one of the more popular B-list characters included with the set. Moving up from B-list to A-list, we have Head of Gryffindor House, Professor Minerva McGonagall, Order of Merlin First Class. Her wand is black, 9.5 inches long, made of fur, and has a dragon heartstring core. McGonagall's robes are absolutely fantastic and come with some really nice metallic details, especially for the silver clasp at the front. The continuity of printing from the torso down onto the legs isn't perfect, but it is pretty good. I love the detail on the back of the robes which show a thistle, the national plant of Scotland. It's also great that LEGO have used a curved piece for the bottom of the robes rather than legs. We can't really see a lot of detail in McGonagall's costume from the outdoor scenes. We get a closer look when she comes inside and takes off her travelling robes. Although the detail isn't very clear, LEGO has clearly gone to a lot of effort to recreate the costume on the minifigure. The facial expression is very familiar and I'm sure we've seen this used in McGonagall minifigures before. It shows an almost uncharacteristically friendly face but is unmistakably McGonagall. The alternate expression is a corker and shows a very disapproving look. All of the other McGonagall minifigures we've seen to date show her in the robes we usually see her teaching in. It's great to finally get a print which shows her wearing some robes she would wear outside of school. Next we have the ever-popular Madam Rosmerta, who makes only brief appearances in the movies. We saw her most in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Her exact age is unknown, but we know that she used to serve the Marauders when they were at school. Her accessory is the hammer we see her using to attach the round sign to the outside of the Three Broomsticks. She has the standard minifigure legs, but I'm pretty sure she would have been wearing a skirt or a dress. The torso print is very good indeed and shows that the designers paid attention to the movie. We even have a little metallic printing for the locket she wears around her neck. The printing on the back is usually hidden by the hair but is actually quite detailed. The slightly Heath Robinson stitching shows that Rosmerta's clothes were probably homemade. I've got a feeling the facial print has been recycled from another minifigure, but the resemblance is very good. The alternate expression, on the other hand, is frankly terrifying. I'd be better if you stopped sending Dementors into my pub and scaring away my customers. The hair is long, wavy and red and a perfect fit for Madam Rosmerta. It could maybe use a few printed streaks, but other than that, I think LEGO nailed it. When you put the minifigure next to the character in the movie, it's easy to appreciate quite how good this is. Although not reflected in the movie, Rosmerta had quite a big part in the mission to assassinate Albus Dumbledore. Draco Malfoy placed Rosmerta under the Imperius Curse. It was Rosmerta who passed the cursed necklace to Katie Bell. This image always gives me chills. And she also poisoned the mead that was intended to be given to Dumbledore through Horace Slughorn in the guise of a Christmas present. This is probably the first and last time we'll see Rosmerta as a minifigure, but she is absolutely superb. I love it when LEGO includes some of the lesser known characters within these sets. This guy is no exception and appeared on screen for about a second and a half. This is Ambrosius Flume, who runs Honeydukes alongside his wife. He used to attend Hogwarts and was actually a member of the Slug Club. The minifigure has standard brown minifigure legs, which is probably okay because I don't think we can see them in the movie. The torso print seems to be absolutely perfect and shows Mr. Flume layered up with a scarf, vest and jacket. There's a little bit of printing around the back showing the scarf and the creases in the back of the jacket. What I do take issue with is the purple beanie hat. Referring to the movie, you'll see this was either grey or brown. The facial expression looks like it could be custom printed for the character. It shows a kindly older gentleman with a really nice smile. I love the alternate expression which shows Mr. Flume looking quite out of puff. It's almost as if Mrs. Flume just sent him downstairs to get some jelly slugs. Save the beanie hat, which is obviously not the right colour. I think LEGO have done a darned good job to recreate the character we saw in the movie, even though we didn't see them for very long. Moving swiftly along, who do we have here? Molly Wobbles, is that you? This is Mrs. Flume, the co-proprietor of Honeydukes, who we know very little about. By virtue of her name, it's fair to say she probably married Mr. Flume, and we know that the couple live in a flat above the sweet shop. The printed legs do incorporate an apron, which is an accurate detail. The torso print is very detailed, and I like the candy wrapper print and the laces on the vest. We see more of that printed detail around the back. If the facial print looks familiar, you'd be right. It may be the perfect match for Mrs. Flume, but it was also used on Molly Weasley. I think Mrs. Flume definitely wears this better. When it comes to the alternate expression, I just don't know what LEGO were thinking here. It looks like somebody with a maniacal expression is having a stroke. The hair element is a great choice for the character and really does closely match what we see in the movie. LEGO has done a really good job of matching the hair and the face, but the costume does leave a little to be desired. The colour is completely different and we're missing those lacy sleeves. Finally, for the minifigures, it's a gold 1-1. There are 6 of these gold minifigures to collect, celebrating the 20th anniversary of LEGO Harry Potter. They each stand on one of these gold minifigure bases and carry a golden wand, which is a colour we've not seen before. Based on the first and second year minifigures, Ron has the very short child-sized legs. The torso printing adds some real depth to the character. It looks like the tie and the crest on the jumper represent Hogwarts and not Gryffindor. If you angle the torso just right, it lights up with metallic gold details. There's more printing around the back, but this simply commemorates 20 years of LEGO Harry Potter. The facial expression and the hair are absolutely perfect for Ron, and I love the metallic details for the freckles. It's just a shame that this wasn't modelled on one of the very early Ronald Weasley minifigures. That would have been so cool. While it is cool to get a 20th anniversary minifigure included with a bunch of these sets, LEGO clearly did this to get us to buy all of the sets. When some of these sets have a little less curb appeal, that's going to be a tougher decision for some people. Doubling down on the gotta catch 'em all marketing trick, there are 16 wizard cards or printed tiles which are distributed randomly among these sets. Here are the 4 wizard cards I got inside the Hogsmeade Visit set. From left to right we have Gilderoy Lockhart, Newt Scamander, Nicholas Flamel, and Jacunda Sykes, the first person to fly across the Atlantic on a broomstick. The cards are nicely printed with gold and silver metallics, and hopefully between all of these sets I should be able to get them all. So that was set number 76388, Hogsmeade Village Visit from LEGO Harry Potter! It's not quite on the level of the Diagon Alley set we got last year, but I think LEGO has done a decent job with this. Both buildings are good recreations of what we saw in the movies, with I'm sure some inspiration from the equivalent buildings at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, my happy place. The minifigure selection was mostly aligned with the scenes in the Prisoner of Azkaban where these establishments featured. It was great to get Rosmerta, who I think is my favourite minifigure. It was also good to get Mr. and Mrs. Flume, even though Mrs. Flume looks like Mollywobbles. Professor McGonagall was an obvious addition, but I would have liked to have seen Minister for Magic Cornelius Fudge included in the lineup. Of the 2 buildings, I think the Three Broomsticks is my favourite exterior, but I do like the colourful interior of Honeydukes. Those printed acid pop containers are absolutely fantastic. It's a great set, and I think it's priced well considering we get 2 iconic Hogsmeade buildings and 7 minifigures. I've had a blast building and reviewing this, and I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did making it. Next time we're winding the clock back to Harry Potter in a Chamber of Secrets and posing for photos with Harry Potter superfan Colin Creevy. Don't forget to drop the video a thumbs up and check out my Instagram @JeremyHerbertOfficial. Last but not least, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my other reviews of the 2021 LEGO Harry Potter sets. Thanks a million for checking out the review, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next build video.